There is a long list of benefits when it comes to journaling, and I also think it's one of the easiest habits to just pick up and maintain. So in this video, I will go through why I journal, and then I will also go through the prompts I use for my journaling practice. And then I will go through how I journal in Notion and also include a Notion template and how I use it. If you're new here, my name is Jarle. And on Early Owl, we are trying to learn how to live a fulfilling life. So the reason why I went for a fulfilling life in the intro is because I feel like that is one of the main benefits you get from journaling. And I also feel like it attacks the problem from kind of two sides. On the one hand, having a journaling practice kind of helps you realize the things that are already fulfilling in your life and appreciate them more. And on the other hand, if you feel like what you're doing right now in life is maybe not aligned with having a fulfilling life, then I think having a daily journaling practice kind of helps bring that forward and might give you some ideas of what is lacking in your life and what a new, more fulfilling path might be. The second reason why I try to journal every day is that I feel like it has some impact on our perception of time. I think about this quite a lot. As you get older, it kind of feels like time goes faster and faster, especially if you live in the same place and you have the same job and every day kind of starts looking the same. And I think having a journaling practice where you write down a little bit about each day and kind of cements it uniquely into your memory, it helps combat that speeding up of time. For the periods of time where I've had a daily journaling practice, it is much easier for me to kind of distinctly think about the different things that happened. Whereas if I fall off the journaling practice, then it's easy for just 1 month or 2 months to just become one big mush of I have no idea what went on there, and it kind of feels the same as if a week went by. The third reason why I've decided on doing a journaling practice is I think the same as I mentioned for meditation and exercise, amongst other things. And it basically just comes down to the cost benefit. And in the case of journaling, it basically boils down to how the cost of journaling is almost nothing. It takes me about 5 minutes to do every day, and it's not particularly hard or annoying. So I just do it, and then I get some noticeable benefits from it. So I figure why not just keep doing it every day. The fourth reason for why I try to have a daily journaling practice is because of ritual. What I mean by that is I think it's kind of inherently beneficial to have a couple of tasks I can do at the start of my day in a set order, which just gives me a consistent way to make sure I get a good start to my day. I think ritual is one of those things that people are going to routinely underestimate because it doesn't feel like it should impact things that much if you kind of stack your tasks in a specific order or if you're consistent with doing them. But from my experience, if you're able to get off your day to a good start, then that makes all the difference. And the way you make sure you get off your day to a good start every day is by having a specific set of things that you kind of just do automatically without having to think about it. I think if you're going to have a journaling practice, then it is best to have it either at the start of the day or at the end of the day. The reason why you would want it at the start of the day is so you could incorporate it into your morning routine like I do. Or you could have it at the end of your day and incorporate it into a shutdown routine where at the end of your day you do the journaling, and then when you're done with that, it's kind of a sign that you're done with all your responsibilities for the day and it's completely fine to just disconnect from everything. So I think to get the most out of your journaling practice, you want to have a couple of different prompts which kind of nudges you in the direction of writing about a few different aspects that are important to journaling. Things like gratitude or accomplishments or things you want to remember. I'll share the prompts that I use, but the specific prompts I don't think matter that much. I'm just using something I've cobbled together from reading about other people's journaling practices. The first prompt I use is what I did well. Since I write this in the morning, I'm talking about what I did well yesterday. And I think this area for me is mostly just about being able to have little celebrations about things I think are going well or things I can take some credit for going well. The next prompt is what I'm happy about. And I think this is the stereotypical gratitude journaling. In this box, I basically write whatever I feel like. It can be something small, like I'm happy that the weather is nice, or I'm happy that I'm reading a book that I like right now, or it can be something more profound, like I'm happy with the relationships I have with my family, or I'm happy about the general path I'm on in life, just whatever comes to mind. And I think this section kind of does two different things for you. One, it just helps you appreciate more what you have in life. And it also trains you more to see the positives about things in life in general. The next section is intention of the day. In this one, I mainly try to write down one thing for work and one thing for non-work. That is something I want to focus on for the day and hopefully complete. The next section is something called Story Moment, which I've taken from a book called Storyworthy, where I think they call it Homework for Life. And the idea is that you write down one part of your day, which is something you could have told a story about. And it doesn't need to be like some super funny or super epic moment or anything like that. It could just be a new realization or kind of a new connection with someone or something weird that happened, or just anything that separates this day from your regular day, which you could have told a story about. So one of the benefits of doing this, according to the book at least, is that it will help you recognize the story-worthy moments of your life and maybe make you a better storyteller. But I think the reason why I've kept it in is that this really hones in on what I was talking about earlier in terms of the perception of time. If you write down kind of one distinct moment of something special that happened that day, then that really sets that day apart in your memory. And you notice this at least really clearly when you go back and read through the journal. In the periods where I don't have anything written down, then it's all just like a big blur, and 1 month might feel like 1 week or a couple of days, and I won't really have anything to tell them apart. Whereas if I've written down like even just a sentence or two about something specific that happened that day, then each day is something I can quite clearly remember. The last section I have is just other thoughts, where I sometimes don't write anything, and then other times I will write a lot, just about whatever else is on my mind and anything else I feel like writing about. So I use Notion for all of my journaling and note-taking needs. And if you either already use Notion or have your other note-taking app that you're happy with, then great. But I've run into a decent amount of people who don't have any robust note-taking thing in their life, but they also are resistant to using Notion because they feel like it's too complicated. So if that is you, I'm not going to make this into a big Notion tutorial, but I just wanted to say that at least me, who is a software engineer, so I'm not kind of worried about technical, complicated things, I do still find that what Notion is good for me, is not using all the advanced features or making these super intricate database things. It is more just gathering simple notes and very simple tables and just organizing that in a way where it's easy to do formatting and it's easy to use. So if you haven't tried Notion and you want to organize your notes in a better way, then I suggest you try it out. I will go through my template now that I use for journaling and show it to you, and show how it's very simple. It's just like the few prompts I talked about in like a simple table, and that's all I use. So let's get to the template. So this is what my template looks like. At the top, I have written down kind of my purpose, which I talk about in the video about why, I think. And then below there, I've written down some quotes and some kind of texts that kind of mean something to me. And then below them, I've written down my explanation to what they mean to me. And I will kind of read or skim through these things at the start of each day before I do my journaling. And then below that, I have the table, which is just, as I said, a simple table with 5 columns where I write down the text for each of the different things. I have the table set up to show the previous day as well. The main reason for this is actually just because if I don't have that, to add a new row, I have to open up this modal, which is not where I want to write in my journal, and it kind of adds 1 click. So instead, I've just created this filter where I have the previous day visible, and then I can highlight that and click enter to create a new row instead of adding a new row, which opens up this annoying pop-up. And then from there, I just open up this page once a day at the start of my morning and write in what I have to say about the different sections, and that's my journaling practice. So that is how I do my journaling in Notion. I will share the template in my description, but as you can see, you might as well just make your own template because it's extremely simple. It is just some quotes at the top for myself, and then a table with 5 columns. And At least from my experience, I don't think it has to be more complicated than that, and I don't experience any benefits from trying to make it more complicated than that. The goal is just to have a little bit of time, either at the start or the end of your day, where you can do some reflection and then kind of internalize your memories a bit more. And that's all it takes to set up a journaling practice. And it doesn't need to take more than a couple of minutes per day. Journaling is one of the habits which I try to do every single day. I have made a couple of other videos about some of my other daily habits, so I will put those videos in a playlist and link that here. Hopefully I have inspired some of you to try out journaling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.